like people in Oyotunji, villagers, and they didn't source anything from outside. They did it themselves with the bushes, the vegetation, and everything they were able to do the carvings and everything that they were able to erect. So that was fascinating. So that brings me to the question of the first urban of Oyotunji. So what was the story? Because I realized that there must be a reason why Oyotunji was created, founded in this place. There's a reason why we have the vegetation and the reason why we have the structure placed at this specific position in America. So that's, I know there's the political side of it, and there might be the political side of it, they might. And there's also the landscape, the atmosphere, maybe the vegetation, something. I don't know much, but I want to hear from you. What was the history behind the children? How did you why choose this?
The history behind the and choosing this particular area was not done by man. It was done by the ancestors. All of the hundreds of thousands of ancestors who were stolen from Africa, forced to grow rice here behind the village in our general area, in the Gullah-Geechee Islands, the Gullah-Geechee Nation. They were forced to come and work. And thousands of what? And we cannot find their graves in it. So here at the Oyotunji village, we say that those ancestors were responsible for the existence and the construction, and they're responsible for erecting the Oyotunji in this particular city. Because Baba, when he came down from New York, his chiefs told him to come to South Carolina because Baba wanted to get out of the city. And because he figured that, hey, if you want to grow African culture, you have to be in a land. African culture requires rivers, forests, different type of herbs, flora, and fauna. So one of Baba's chiefs told him, he said, look, go to South Carolina, because they were going to go to Mount Vernon, New York. They were going to go to Mount Vernon, New York. And they went to Mount Vernon, realized it was extremely cold. I believe the land was family land, so they were not willing to erect a village on that land. So Baba left New York, I believe, in the winter of '68. He stopped in North Carolina for his teaching job to create money for Oyotunji at the Black Freedom School. But as soon as he got there, the Black Freedom School fell apart, and so he didn't have any job. So, but he had money. Because in New York you can do readings, they would do readings, festivals, even naming ceremonies, promoting the culture and using the culture as economics. So they had money. By the time they left North Carolina, they went to Savannah, Georgia. And in Savannah, Georgia was where they set up shop. And they figured that they would make the village somewhere in that area. But the local sheriff and the local officials were not too happy that these new guys from New York are down here wearing agbada, walking the streets, giving readings. And one of the chiefs said that if 3 of them were walking down the sidewalk with agbada on, they take up the whole sidewalk. So many people were nervous at this new stuff. But the people in this area know about the root. That's the purpose. The purpose of Baba coming south to this area in Savannah was because he knew that the Gullah-Geechee people preserve, maintain huge pieces of African tradition and culture, primarily, or number one of which is an understanding of the spirit. We call it Ashayubile, some people call it Ishishi, they call it Candomblé, in Brazil they call it Santeria, Lukumi, Zikuwa. Here in this area, they call it roots. So basically, we know how to go to the forest and use certain roots to make koshefa. Basically, it's a koshefa. So, Baba was brought to this area by the state. He was brought to Houston by the state because he couldn't pay the rent in the house in Savannah. And he was brought to this area because one of friends noticed that Baba was struggling. And he said, listen, you came down here to start the village. Come on, get out of bed. Baba had 2 wives at the time. So the guy was saying, Baba, get out of bed. You know, you can't be just laying up with your wives all the time. You can't just start the village, let's go. And Baba followed his advice. And the guy said, I have 2 acres of land in a place called Shelby. That is not far from here, about 3 miles from here, is the old village. However, Baba began to erect the village and build the village up, build the village up, build the village up. Eventually, the owners of the property, because they did not own the property, the owners of the property did not like the fact that they were having all this attention. Because once the village started, 60 Minutes came to the village, USA Today, the Observer, the Sentinel, Charlotte Observer, Charleston Post, the people, there's like newspapers and magazines started to come, and the local people did not like the attention. So, some kind of way the ancestors opened up, and they were able to buy this land that we see on today for $500, and half of which was food stamps. You know, food stamps.
Yeah.
They call it Ite Onje. Ite Onje. And I think in Oyotunji, we're the only people who coined the phrase for food stamps in Yoruba. Ite is like a book. Onje, Ite Onje, or reading book, the paper book of money that you used to buy food. Many years ago, it was bills that they would give you. 5, 10s, 50s, and 100s. I think. 100s were brown, different colors. Not like green money, but it was used to buy food. And that is what they used to help purchase this land. So all of the chiefs put their money together. $500 was a lot of money back in those days. So they established the village. But what we didn't know at the time was where we are now is pretty much situated on plantation. Ancient plantation, and where African people lost their culture. African people lost their culture just right behind Oyotunji. We have huge lakes for African people, primarily Gambians, people from Calabar, Senegalese. They came and grew rice in this area. And so those ancestors that inhabited this land, we say that they were responsible for bringing us to this place. They were responsible for leading us. And also, this is where we lost our culture, on the plantations. Oyotunji is surrounded by 20 plus plantations, slave plantations. It would be tantamount equivalent to Auschwitz, or places where the Jews lost their culture, in concentration camps. So we see plantations as concentration camps. But today the European people come down and they have weddings, hunting and dancing and singing on these concentration camps. They're very beautiful places, but they're scary because of the history they hold. So we know that that is where we lost our culture. The ancestors brought Oyotunji to this table through Baba and Yeye. And this is where we come to get our culture. We come to retrieve it, or Sankofa, as they say in Twitter. We come here to retrieve our culture. In long form, that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sir. I think we
Okay, I'm coming.
start with the introduction without me introducing ourselves. Very, my apologies for that. I am Damien Nyauso. I am from the University of Costa Dallas, I'm a doctoral candidate. I'm here to work for Fine in America, and I'm at Oyotunji Village, and I'm with His Royal Majesty, Oba Olufumi, Adefumi is with me here. Adefumi 2, right? Adefumi 2 is right here with me. But I'll need him to introduce himself to you all.
Thank you. We are His Royal Majesty Oba Adejubi Adejubi Adefumi. I am the Royal Tunji of Oyotunji Kingdom, based in beautiful Seabrook, Shelby, South Carolina, deep in the Great Geechee Nation. And we are also the king of the Yoruba of North America. And so it is incumbent upon us to welcome all people who want to visit and experience a snapshot and a taste of Yoruba culture.
So today we'll be looking at